Something big is about to happen with ICP, and the ridiculous FUD campaigns across X are laying the foundation to show you to try and close people's eyes to what's coming. This to me is one of the most interesting things that's happening in crypto right now. This is something very important you must understand if you don't want to get ripped off and manipulated. And Blockchain Pill, who is, one of the few honest creators in crypto who has the same information I have, who's on to ICP. He made a video about this called ICP's Under Attack. I'm going to react to it at double speed. And thankfully this time when I recorded it, I turned the desktop audio on so you could actually hear him. And I'm going to hear what he has to say about it and supplement what he's saying so that you can be empowered and not be tricked by crap like this and never, ever follow. Immediately mute, unfollow anyone who's using these kind of techniques. This is a psychological technique called paltering, where you are using, and ChatGPT, like, this is what you need to do. You need to research and understand what this is. This is a technique called paltering, and it's cherry picking, endpoint selection, anchoring, loss framing, effect heuristic. Like, this is advanced stuff. What kind of people are using this and then copying it all over? Like, this is an indication of the environment we're in, and you've got to be smarter than this, or you will get manipulated and ripped off by it. So let's see what Blockchain Pill has to say about this, and I'm excited to share this video. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure to subscribe to Blockchain Pill. I watch all his videos along with Bobby O as well. Two of them, the few voices in crypto that are honest and have the information that you need.
Welcome back to Blockchain Pill. My name is Alex and welcome back to a new episode. If you open Twitter, you can see that
I always watch at double speed also, everybody. So if you're trying to watch me at double speed and he's 4x speed, you're just gonna have to slow this thing down.
ICP is currently under attack. The whole timeline is filled with this same post, like copy-paste, as if this is an intentional attack. Let's read the tweets from
It is an intentional
with
attack.
over 2 million followers. He says, if you invested $10,000 in ICP at its peak 5 years ago, today it would be worth just $29. WTF happened? Then we have another one from Our Crypto Talk. ICP is down 99.7% from its peak. Then we have another one. Remember ICP? Every exchange listed this on the first day and it shot up to 400 billion FDV. If you had invested $10,000 back then, you would have just $9 today. Then another one. If you invested $10,000 into ICP at its all-time high of $700, you would have around $31 left today. Over 99.6% of your money is gone. Dozens and dozens of posts like this have filled the timeline. And listen, I think that this is something that is happening in a loop. Like, I see posts like this, starting to get traction like every 3-4 months. However, this time, this cycle of FUD or of negative posts, because it's not really FUD. Like, if you look at the chart, yeah, the chart has been as high as $700 or $2,800 on some exchanges.
Yes, it's not FUD, it's paltering, a psychological technique being used to manipulate people's perceptions using real data that has been taken in an inappropriate context, designed to position people to ignore the truth about internet computer, that people who are vulnerable, who don't understand, who just look at things and don't think are vulnerable to being hit with. But if you are strong and you are looking for the truth, you will not be affected by weak psychological techniques like this.
And we got a response from Definity, from Pierre, and from Dominic Williams himself. And I want to go through those responses. I want to give you my thoughts on it, and I have a few interesting things that I want to share in this video. So this is the post by Pierre, the Chief Business Officer at Definity. Interesting to see several so-called crypto influencers suddenly pushing the same negative message about ICP today. Some didn't even bother changing the wording, literally copy-paste. Is it a coincidence? The timing is certainly interesting, given what's coming in the next weeks. The North remembers, and so do we.
I mean, these guys are sloppy. If I was going to execute something like this, I'd make it a little less obvious. But what they're doing is just trying to place this narrative in people's heads, and they're so sloppy that they literally just use the exact same data point, and that makes it easier. The repetition makes it easier to digest, but it also makes it easier to observe. Like, this is something people are just copying and pasting. To me, there's someone that orchestrates all these people. They're all under control, or they're just copying each other, and they're told what to do, and they said, FUD ICP today. Here's your narrative. Once you see that this is the environment, it's the red pill, my friends.
A Game of Thrones reference here at the end. This is a very based post, and Pierre is generally a very based person. And actually, I want to have a look at this last bit of the post. The timing is certainly interesting, given what's coming in the next weeks. Relatively close to that, the cycle burn rate of ICP has literally shot up like 2-3 times in expectation of what is coming in the next few weeks. Something is definitely cooking in the background for the Internet Computer Protocol, as we are awaiting the mid-August announcement that Pierre said is really going to be a big deal. Definitely, what is cooking is something pretty massive, and the timing is definitely interesting. And I have a take here on Pierre's tweet and on the FUD that we're seeing on the timeline. The fact that we're seeing people posting ICP and trying to scare people away from their ICP tokens at the bottom is, in my opinion, bullish, because this will shake out the non-believers and make them them chase back into ICP higher. And we need to be patient. And we've been patient for the past 4 or 5 years. I think most of us who are ICP holders have been nothing but patient. We have been patient. And I think what's another month, what's another 6 months, what's another year, on top of the 4 or 5 years that we have been in this community. The interesting bit comes here from the man himself, from Dominic Williams. He responded to this guy, to Ash Crypto, which, as I mentioned, is an account with 2.1 million followers. You get to 2 million followers on X if you are an engagement farmer.
Yep, that's what these accounts do. Engagement farmer. This guy, and this post got much more reach than his, and like any of his posts about Bitcoin, and his posts are just generic engagement farming. He offers no genuinely useful information. He sends people over to his Telegram, and all he does is engagement farm. That's how you just say whatever you think people want to hear. You farm all these different communities, you get them following you, and this is just engagement farming too. Because he knows all the people in ICP are going to hate this. And he even got Dominic Williams to respond to this. And it's just, this is the environment. You've got to be aware of how this works, or you are vulnerable to believing this crap.
Like, there's no other way unless you provide some incredible value, but I don't think Ash Crypto is providing that incredible value. So
no, this guy, Ash Crypto, is not providing anything useful. I looked over his recent posts, not a single thing useful. Straight up engagement farming. And almost all the largest voices, all they're doing is engagement farming. You got people like me, Blockchain Pill, we're providing genuinely useful information. And because of that, we're kind of locked in an ICP silo. I found some creative ways to get out of it. But generally, if you provide genuinely useful information, you're going to be drowned out by all the engagement farmers who say anything to get their voice as loud as possible. And then they accept deals, sponsorships, where they have to say certain things. And perhaps they have to FUD ICP, whether they like it or not. And they're not going to be honest. Like in this reply he shows, they're not going to be honest and tell you that someone's telling them what to do. Why would they? They have no incentive to be honest, except their own conscience. And they're telling themselves they're doing the right thing. And they're only thinking of themselves. So, like, there's no incentive. Like, once you see how much, especially influencers, content creators, lie to your face right out in public, whew, there's no going back, baby. You don't believe almost anything. And you treasure people who you can tell are being honest and authentic with you.
He is engagement farming. But Dominic Williams seems like he took him seriously and responded to his tweet. Like, he left a comment here saying, if anyone can tell us what slime crypto project is paying these scammers to post this garbage with proof, we'll pay them 7,500 ICP. If you posted this garbage, that's an easy opportunity for you. It's more than you got paid by them, and they don't deserve your loyalty. So
I don't know that it's more than they got paid by them. Some of these guys may have been paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to push all the crap they do.
There's a few things that I want to address with Dominic Williams' post, and I can agree that maybe ICP is targeted by some crypto projects, by some shadowy figures, by anything like that, because if ICP succeeds, everything else is going to look like crap. Like, you can do stuff on the Internet Computer Protocol that you cannot do on any other blockchains. Everything else is just a copy of a copy of a copy, slightly cheaper, slightly faster than Ethereum, but the level of innovation since Ethereum, besides the Internet Computer Protocol, has been almost nothing. We even had, people try to push an on-chain narrative a couple of years ago. The CEO of Coinbase was saying on-chain is the new online. However, the only place where you can have stuff on-chain is the Internet Computer Protocol. Everywhere else, on-chain means just the token is on-chain and smart contracts are on-chain. And that narrative died off because really people were not able to push it because it was not possible outside the Internet Computer Protocol.
You see how important that information is right there? Like, that is more important than anything Ash Crypto's probably ever said in his life. Like, that's what you really need to know. And that's what all these people across all the rest of these accounts, once you know that, ICP is the only real innovation in crypto beyond, like, meaningful big innovation since Ethereum. And you can't even push on-chain as a new online because ICP is the only thing that can do it. Like, this is why I watched Blockchain Pill. This is powerful information.
So I want to first address the fact that ICP is currently targeted, which I personally think it isn't targeted right now. This is just a part of the copy-pasta cycle of the $10,000. If you invested $10,000 into X, then you would have Y today. And I want to open just a few tweets here, and you can verify this for yourself. You can look up on X, and you can write, if you invested $10,000. And at first, it's going to be full of ICP posts because this is the most recent one and the hottest one. But then you will see that it's the same tweets for various projects. Maybe all of those projects were attacked by this institution or this whoever is behind those attacks. So we see here, if you invested $10,000 in DOT in 2021, today you would have 245, which, quite some engagement. Then we go, shocking. If you invested $10,000 in Melania last year, you would have only $53 today. So somebody's targeting Melania. I think, listen, this is a copy pasta that people post for engagement because it's funny. It's funny. If you invest in Melania $10,000 like a dummy, you would have $53 right now. It's pretty funny. People, like, the token was manipulated, was
like
bundled as hell, and it went down. I believe it only went up for like 1 day or so. If you invested $5,000 in Lab, this is a more recent one, you would have had 5.6 million at all-time high, but investors were only able to claim 3,000 after the unlock. Generational crime, by the way. That was a pretty crimey thing that happened. Like, it went from literally nothing all the way to $25 and then down to what it was like 8 cents. So this was definitely crime. If you invested
I called out Lab as being absolute garbage and filth before that happened, I would add.
$10,000 in ABTC, which is Trump's family Bitcoin mining company called America Bitcoin, that would be worth $600 today. Then if you invested $10,000 in Disney 5 years ago, you would now have $6,000, so that's not even that bad. If you invested $10,000 in Beyond Meat in 2021, today you have $41. This is pretty bad, and I'm actually happy with this because Beyond Meat was trying to market this fake meat that feels like meat, and this is the response of the people. Like, the market has spoken. If you
All right, I like the Beyond Meat as a vegan. I don't eat it very often, but yeah, overvalued.
invested $10,000 in car yesterday, now today you have 2,900, and so on and so forth. Like, we can probably keep doing this for like a few hours with just different companies and different coins, and this is just the copy pasta that people use just to engagement farm, and we can see the engagement on this. If you invested $10,000 in Snapchat in 2017, today you would have $2,800. So this is a copy pasta that has been around for quite some time. I don't think there is somebody targeting ICP specifically. Me personally, maybe I'm a
It is funny that the timing right now, a bunch of them all go after ICP right this second. I don't know for sure, but I would guess that the timing on this is very on purpose right now. Once you understand how important timing is, you just see like the timing on stuff that's the thing that often is most important. And if you can control the timing of narratives, I mean, you can make almost anything happen. You can send people to war. You can dump the market and make huge profits. You can pump the market. This looks intentional to me. Maybe it's intentional to somebody.
Naive person. I can see why people would target the Internet Computer Protocol, because it would challenge the status quo of crypto itself if it becomes successful and as successful as we all wish it becomes. But I would have come up with another campaign. I would have come up with something, not with the chart. Like, we already know about the chart, and there's like no brain went into making of this post, and this is already copy pasta. So in my opinion, if an attack on ICP, an organized attack on ICP would happen, I think there are many more viable ways to attack the Internet Computer Protocol. Like, you would try to attack its authority. You would try to attack, the results that they're getting. You would maybe attack the fact that, some of the best minds at ICP have left the company, stuff like that. Like, that's the angles that you would attack, not the price. This is old news. We all know this. However, I want to address this part from Dominic Williams'
Well, all right. So yes, if you wanted to approach an intelligent person, I'm like, why did Jan leave? Like, that is not so great. At the same time, though, do you assume most people on X are fitting into the category where a more sophisticated attack would work with them? Or are we posting things for simple people scrolling and not thinking that much, that quickly just consume the information and don't consider it? I mean, this is aimed at simple people. This is not aimed at someone like that's thinking and intelligent and is critically minded. And the first step to, if you realize that's you, like I have recently with dating, it's like, okay, I need to learn and remember and study. Once you realize you're weak in a certain area, you can study and you can get better at it. If this kind of stuff works on you, then study some human psychology and you'll recognize things like this in advance. But the masses don't recognize things like this. They don't know human psychology, and they're very vulnerable to simple attacks, whereas they would ignore something more complicated. Like, some of the more real things that people like me might be bothered more by, the masses wouldn't pay attention or care about that. So the typical strategy, especially on social media, is to put the simplest, easily understandable, most shocking thing to mess with the masses, and then the timing is delivered and the masses just are led around like sheep. And my goal is to help wake people up so that you are not led around like a sheep. That's my goal.